Stand firm. The story of Caleb in the classroom. A powerful story of faith under pressure. Caleb never wanted to stand out. He was 16, quiet, a thinker. He didn't play football, didn't join the debate team, and didn't go viral on TikTok. He just wanted to get through high school with his faith intact, and maybe a few friends who understood him. But that was harder than it sounded. Being a Christian in today's world, especially at his public high school, felt like swimming upstream in a river of opinions, jokes, and noise. It wasn't that people were cruel, not always. It was the constant pressure to stay silent, to nod along, to laugh at jokes that made him cringe inside. His teachers pushed tolerance, but the moment he brought up God in a conversation, their eyes glazed over. One even said during a history lecture, religion was mankind's way of making sense of fear. We've moved past that now. The class chuckled. Caleb didn't. Lunchtimes were awkward. He prayed quietly over his food when he remembered, but kept it quick and discreet. One day, someone noticed. "You still do that praying thing?" a classmate teased. Caleb smiled politely. "Yeah, I do." The boy shrugged. "That's cool, I guess, as long as you don't shove it in people's faces." Caleb nodded again. He wasn't the shoving type. But inside, a seed of weariness grew. It all came to a head one Monday morning in literature class. Mrs. Donovan was a good teacher, fair, open-minded, but she loved thought experiments. "This week," she said, "you'll each prepare a short presentation on your worldview. It can be political, religious, scientific, or philosophical. The only rule is defend what you believe." The room buzzed with excitement. For most students, it was a chance to talk about something they were passionate about. For Caleb, it felt like a battlefield. He looked down at his notebook. He could take the easy way out, talk about kindness or self-love. Something broad, non-controversial, but his hands wouldn't write it. He knew what he believed. He knew who had saved him. And deep down, he knew he couldn't stay silent. That night, he pulled out his Bible. He flipped through the pages, stopping at Ephesians chapter 6. He read the passage slowly. "Put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground, and after you have done everything, to stand." The verse landed heavy. He wasn't being asked to change the world. He wasn't being asked to convert the whole class. He was just being asked to stand. So he closed his eyes and whispered, "God, if I speak for you, stand with me." Presentation day came quickly. The first student spoke passionately about feminism, the next about climate change. Another student made a flashy slideshow on moral relativism. Then, it was Caleb's turn. He stood slowly. No slideshow, no props, just a notebook in his trembling hands. "My name is Caleb," he began, his voice dry. "And my worldview is centered around one name, Jesus Christ." A few eyebrows rose. "I believe Jesus isn't just a good teacher or a historical figure. I believe he's the Son of God, that he died for my sins, and that everything I do, or at least try to do, flows from that truth." He took a breath. No one interrupted. "I believe every person has worth, not because of what they do, but because God made them. I believe grace is more powerful than revenge. I believe truth isn't whatever feels right. It's whatever aligns with God's word." One boy in the back scoffed. Caleb heard it but kept going. "I don't have all the answers. I mess up a lot, but I know that when I cry out to Jesus, he hears me. He's real. I know it's not popular. And I get that some of you may disagree or think this is outdated, but I can't keep quiet about the one who changed my life." He looked down. "That's my worldview. Thanks for listening." He walked back to his seat. heart pounding. The silence was loud. A few students whispered, one rolled his eyes. But Emily, quiet Emily, who always sat near the back, leaned forward as he passed and mouthed, "Thank you." The next day, someone unfollowed him on social media. A few students stopped making eye contact in the hallway. But then, something unexpected happened. During lunch, Emily sat next to him. "I used to believe," she said, poking her fork at her food, "stopped going to church when my dad left. But what you said, it reminded me of something I've been missing." They talked for the rest of lunch. A week later, another student DM'd him, "Hey, I'm not religious, but I respect you." That took guts. Over the next month, Caleb saw small things change. He still faced tension, still felt pressure, but he also felt something stronger, peace. Because when you stop hiding your faith, even if it costs you something, you gain clarity, you gain purpose, you gain courage. And courage, it grows. One Friday, Mrs. Donovan pulled him aside after class. "I've seen a lot of students avoid controversial topics, but you stood up for what you believe without attacking anyone. That's rare. I respect that." Caleb smiled, grateful. He didn't stand to impress anyone. He stood because the truth in him was too real to keep hidden. Faith under pressure is never easy, but it's often in the pressure that faith becomes real, like a diamond formed under heat, like a muscle strengthened by resistance. Faith that stands shines brightest when the world around you demands silence. You may be the only light in your class, the only voice in your friend group, the only one who bows your head at lunch, but you're never standing alone. God never asks you to have it all figured out. He just asks you to stand. You just heard Stand Firm, the story of Caleb in the classroom on the Inspirational Story Room. If you're a young person feeling the pressure of silence, fear, or doubt, know that God is with you and your quiet courage matters. Share this with someone who needs the strength to stand.